What's up, everybody? Back again with a quick review here of the, I was going to say brand new, but it's brand new to me, the new Razer Ornata keyboard. This thing retails for anywhere from 79 to 99 bucks. You know, check out your local retail store, look for a good deal. And the only reason I'm doing this review is I bought this thing 3 weeks ago, and I type a lot, 40,000 words last week, and probably something along the similar for on an average week, 30 to 40,000. I get those stats from Grammarly. They're not sponsoring this or whatever, but that's just how I use it, and they kick me out of report. And so we're going to dive in here to a little bit of just kind of an overview here, and you can see the keyboard. It's great. It's a mechanical keyboard with mid-level cap keys, meaning they're not high, they're not low. They're great. But at the same time, they're not perfect. Razer has this problem with the material that they use. You can see there's a little bit of shiny spots where the oil from my hands are showing up, and despite my best efforts, cannot keep it clean. But here's you know, a little close-up look at the LEDs, because LEDs make life better. And you can, you know, it's a Razer product. You can make it any color you want, but it's a good mechanical keyboard. Listen to that. Yeah. That's the mechanical action, and here's a couple quick looks at the different keyboard settings you can do. So that was fire. This is just a solid color. Then you can have some like reactionary waves if you want to drive yourself insane, and then you can tone it down a little bit here and make it so it's just kind of a little bit muted. But yeah, that's the keyboard. Lots of LED effects. And so it's what I'm going to be using for what I think will probably be at least my next million words, although at 40,000 a week, that doesn't take me too long to get there. My last keyboard was a Razer Black Widow Chroma, and that had full keycap height, and it was very loud. This keyboard is not as loud, so that makes me happy on that front, meaning that I can actually type on this thing while on a conference call and doing all that, and it doesn't drive people on the call insane either. But this is it's a good keyboard. Now, it's not perfect. As I noted earlier, some of the oil residue showing up, that's not great. If you work in a crowded office environment, it is loud enough that it's going to drive people nuts. One thing this keyboard does have over the Black Widow Chroma is that you could see there that the numlock and numlock kind of shows up a lot better, and that. Other things that I don't really love, or it's just kind of odd at the end of the day, here is that this thing comes with it. This is the palm rest. So palm rest, you know, good. I'm actually very happy it has this. It's good for ergonomics. So Razer only included magnets on one side. So it's nice. It kind of latches up to it and holds on with magnets. Here's the problem. I actually prefer it turned the other way around with the closer edge up front. And the problem is that there's no magnets on that side. And so it doesn't stick as well, but it works. And there are feet on the bottom of this thing that do hold it in place. So overall, this is a pretty good keyboard. It's not for everybody, though. It's not for everybody. If you've never used a mechanical keyboard before, definitely try to get your hands on this. And you can find it at all major retail outlets in the US, like Best Buy, Target, and all that. Definitely try it out, and definitely see if you like the mechanical style keyboard first. And the reason why I say that is I jump a lot between that keyboard and this bad boy, the Surface Book 2. Several times a day, likely. And the reason why I wanted a lower cap height was that jumping between those two things, it was too much of a different experience, and it was throwing me off and impacting my typing speed. So with a lower keycap height, I think I know it makes the transition a little bit easier. The other things that are kind of odd about this, the plastic base that it comes with, that the keyboard is in, isn't the best. It feels cheap. It feels like the dashboard of my 1999 Dodge Neon. If you ever had one of those cars, my brother had one. That's how I know what it feels like. Not the best, and the keys wobble a little bit. They're not perfect situated on top of their switches, and so when you press on it, like they can wobble a little bit. It's not enough to make me return this thing. But if you're super sensitive to that, which I know some people are, this is not the keyboard for you. Also, the space bar needs some reinforcement. Like if you're pressing on the sides, it wobbles too much again for my liking. But that being said, for less than $100, this is a good mechanical keyboard. If you're just getting into mechanical keyboards, this might be a good one to jump to, especially if you're coming from a low keycap height thing, low keycap keyboard, because it's kind of that middle ground, and it's not overly punchy in the mechanical switches, and it's kind of a nice entryway. I personally quite like it. The LED effects, which add, they make the computer faster. Obviously, that's why we like LEDs. They're great, fully customizable. Other nice thing is the Razer Snaps software allows you to remap any key to anything you want. And so I have a couple macros that I set up that, again, help make life easier. And so Here's what you need to know. If you need a relatively low-cost mechanical keyboard, mind you, mechanical keyboards can get very expensive, so anything under $100 is relatively low cost in that space, although it is at the high end of a non-mechanical keyboard pricing. It's a good keyboard. It is not perfect. If you have very oily hands, this may not be for you because I know from past Razer products, it will show up quite a bit, but it's definitely something worth checking out, especially because you can get it at your hands on it at retail store, and the ergonomic rest is very, very nice and a nice little freebie that is tossed into the box. So folks, that is the Razer Ornata keyboard. Go check it out. It's been available for a while. This is nothing new, but I've been using it for 3 weeks now. It's what's going to be my daily driver, and thanks for tuning in.